My name is Beth Wing-Williams and I'm a commissioning officer within Children and Young People Services at Wolverhampton City Council.
I'm Lisa and I'm a youth worker for Wolverhampton City Council. I've been part of the Young People at the Centre project for the last 4 years.
Part of the project, Young People at the Centre had a budget to use and to decide how they used it.
Yeah, we had £50,000 to spend on a project that would benefit young people in Wolverhampton.
Yeah. All the young people who were at the centre of commissioning the service were actually part of Fusion 16, which is the group that meets here on a weekly basis.
Young people are easier to work with than adults in a sense because they will tell you how it is instead of the adults actually saying, well, we really want this for their own benefit, whereas young people will actually want it to gain for other young peers in their years.
The main areas that children, like the young people, thought that was main issues in Wolverhampton, which was like teenage pregnancy, bullying, sexual health.
It was quite quick really, because everybody knew what was wrong, so we knew what we wanted. So we basically got some flip charts divided into our schools and said, what's wrong with SRE? We wrote all that down and it took about 5 minutes.
My involvement started when they were putting together the service specification as to what they wanted to do. So they'd already identified that the service was going to be around sexual health and sex and relationship education.
And we decided that we wanted something
that covered all, so like the health, the sex and drugs, teen pregnancy, well-being.
We asked them to write down like the 5 main ideas that they want in the school and as a big project, and then the main one was peer education, and that's when Swipe came about.
They really took the lead for putting together the service specification, but I supported them in putting it into a sort of a framework as such.
We had to like come together and like really think about what was going to, the context of everything, and what was actually going to, how we was going to put it, and what was actually going to put in the website, in the whole project, and how it was going to be taught.
The young people are fabulous really. I mean, they've come along, they've took the project, we've asked them to do things and they're actually now running the actual sessions, they're telling me what to do.
We've worked with members of the council like Rod Shepherd, who helps with the interviews.
We put together the whole interview ourselves, and we got to interview the 2 contenders, we sat behind a desk and everything. Was pretty cool.
I've been interviewed by panels and we've had like one young person on the panel, and it's felt a little bit like a token kind of gesture and stuff. They've asked questions, but I've never felt before like the young people are really leading the process, and that's what I felt that was really different here.
I think we scared them a little bit, but it needed to be done.
It was really intimidating actually, because they're doing that thing where they all sat on chairs and they had a desk, so it was like, oh, this is us, and you're over there. And they had like written paper and they were writing notes about things that we said, and they had questions that all had at least one question to ask us.
And afterwards we had to mark down all the answers and go through it and see who was the best, mark them out of 10, which was really difficult. That really neat. When
we saw the original specification for the project, we did feel like we were going to be producing a big handbook, or and the young people just like, no, we don't want that. We want stuff that's really practical. We want stuff that's really interactive.
THD have been great, because they're more like one of us.
They don't talk down at you, they actually talk to you, and you can actually have a conversation, like a normal conversation.
Actually, we weren't required to come every week, but it was like, like you want to see your boss once a week, and that's what it was like, wasn't it? It was like, you need to let them know what we're doing. We felt very accountable to them.
We wanted a website so everyone could access it, even if they're not from Wolverhampton, and put loads of information on it.
We had a lot of sessions where they came back with the information, what they've got and what they plan to do. So they had printed out handouts of what the website would look like.
Yeah, we'd mock something up for them. We were like, this is a really cool website. It's nice and clean, and it's all and it's exactly the kind of website that a 40-year-old person would like. And the young people just ripped it to pieces, and they just said it was like rubbish, and we had to go away and start again.
We just wanted to make sure that it'd be suitable for young people, and it's what we wanted to put our name to.
Because we didn't want everything just filled with information, because you don't read it. We wanted pictures and links. We even had something to do with YouTube.
Wonderful website. That's ongoing, and a bunch of peer educators that do really well and know what they're doing.
Our role really was to train the peer educators and to develop the curriculums and all of that. And then obviously it's the peer educators who were delivering things within the school.
I wrote an SRE policy for the school and lots of other stuff. And I've got trained as a peer educator.
The contracts, I suppose, is the most difficult part as such, and I think sometimes the process seems quite long, and I know sometimes the young people wondered what we were doing because from their perspective they didn't really see anything happening, whereas things were happening with contracts as well.
It's a lot hard to stay focused if it gets boring, because it's a lot of paper.
We want to promote young people making decisions, and sometimes that doesn't actually marry up well with procurement or with contracting as well, and also what the constitution is. So for instance, you know, it's sometimes difficult for other areas to understand why young people should be given so much responsibility and should be given budgets and should be given tenders to evaluate.
But a lot of our project delivery was supposed to happen in schools, but actually the amount of control that young people themselves have in a school setting, and how, you know, it was quite limited in a way.
The hardest thing about the actual project was coordinating the actual sort of working with the young people from the different areas to the schools, linking in with the schools, to actually getting the commissioning side of it done and getting everybody sort of to working together and understanding that it's a young people's project and not an adult's project.
We were doing things and learning from things as we went along, so we only came across the challenges as they happened. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to put together a young person's guide to commissioning, is to understand from a young person's perspective what that was all about, and also to try and think about these sort of things in the future.
We weren't asked for large numbers of pieces of paper. Obviously we had to provide reports and updates on what we were doing, but essentially if Fusion 16 were happy, you know, and they felt like what we were doing was hitting the spot, then you know, everybody seemed to be happy.
They've got a different view of young people now, I think, people we work with.
Couldn't have asked for a better group. They make me laugh, they make me cry. Really, really good. I think that's the best thing about the project.
I think I've learned that I'd rather be commissioned by young people than by, you know, professionals that sit in a desk, maybe a little bit older, don't really know what's happening on the ground. It's like they know what the issues are for young people, they know how young people are going to interact, and so they know what to tell us to do.
You meet a lot of new people as well, so it's kind of like you get to meet them and you get to be really like
Yourself.
Yeah, you can be yourself, and just it's like getting involved. You feel part of something as well, so that's good as well.
We've done other projects, and we've constantly always had work links with the council.
We've always nearly added swiping to everything as well.
And we've had to do presentations with the people, so we do know the names and that. So it was easy because we had the support that we needed.
It's good to see young people and actually see how responsible they are and how they take it seriously, and also to see, you know, what they get out of it as well.
The best thing was like coming together as a team and trying to make Wolverhampton better for young people by the amount of topics that we've actually included in the website.
At YW we do a drop-in and loads of people turn up, and it's like, yeah, I've been involved in it, and it's like, makes you really proud because you know you've done something good.
Because we've got it there, done, and like say like if we wanted a job, we can say like, well, we've done this, and people can actually look at what we've actually done. So
is that what you did for yours?
And because we've got 2 new schools involved with the Young People at the Centre project, we want to try and engage them in a different way. So I think we're looking now at how we can develop the peer support element of the project, but also look at how we can mainstream the way of working with young people as well. And also I think to do some more commissioning with them to see what they've learned and how we go about it next time.
Hopefully we'll expand, because we really do want to surround Wolverhampton in peer education. And if that happens, hopefully we'll get out further and just inspire other people to take control of SRE in schools, and it'll just be easier for everyone. So that's our expansion plan.